how has the hire of Adam Gase gone over in New York?
Well, it depends on who you ask, Kirk. I think a lot of people obviously looked at the pool of candidates during this coaching cycle and saw Mike McCarthy as the person who was clearly more accomplished than some of the other guys who ultimately got hired. So I think there was a faction of the fan base that wanted Mike McCarthy to be the next head coach. And then, of course, there was another group of people, and I think the group that I align with, which is that there were some really good candidates, maybe guys that aren't necessarily sexy names, maybe even some guys who haven't even been NFL head coaches, but would have been ultimately the right choice or the smart choice for the Jets. And I think that Adam Gase was one of those few guys who I believed would be really the right guy to not only bring the Jets along, but to help cultivate Sam Darnold's talents.
But Manish, clear something up for me, because this is something my own personal question to you would be the Baylor head coach, Matt Rule. He was considered one of the candidates for the New York Jets, and the reports that were coming out of New York was that the Jets would not allow him to hire his own staff, which ultimately heard, I'm staying at Baylor, and then New York hires Adam Gase. How did that part all go down in terms of Matt Rule not getting the New York Jets job?
Yeah, that was interesting because I know for a fact that the Jets were extremely high on Matt Rule. He was one of those few guys I'd mentioned earlier who I believed would be a smart hire for them. They believe that as well. Just to get into details a little bit about the staffing issues, my understanding is that the guy that Matt Rule wanted to be the offensive coordinator was not acceptable for the Jets. And so, look, you can kind of look at this on both sides and understand both sides, because if you're Matt Rule and you're getting your first and perhaps only crack at a head coaching job, you certainly want to bring the guys that you feel most comfortable with surrounding you, right? I mean, that makes perfect sense. But if you're the Jets, and again, one of your primary reasons for making sure that this hire is the right hire is that you want to make sure that Sam Darnold is properly surrounded by people who can bring out the best in him. And if they did not believe that the guy that Matt Rule wanted could accomplish that, then you can certainly understand them balking on that as well. So, I don't think there's necessarily a right side or a wrong side to that, but I certainly believe and actually side with the Jets on this one, because I know who the candidate was. I'm not going to share that, but I knew who the candidate was that Matt Rule wanted to be the offensive coordinator. I don't believe that guy, who is currently an NFL assistant coach, would be the right guy to bring along Sam Darnold.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.